Hello, BookTube. Welcome back to the History Shelf. I am your host, Peg, and considered changing the name of this channel for the next month or so, Living in Boxes, because until the move happens in 2 weeks this Saturday, that's what it's going to be. As you can see one box behind me, but count on it for future videos that you will see more boxes and things are going to change behind me in this room to the point of non-recognition of what this channel is about. But anyway, it doesn't stop me from needing to talk to you about books and share books with you. In today's video, I wanted to share a mixture of history and literature through one of my favorite collections that I have going, which is the New York Review of Book Classics, NYRB Classics. And I've hauled them on here before, and normally after every flash sale, I usually order something on their flash sales because they're just fantastic, where you can buy like 4 books for... The more books you buy, the cheaper the rate is. And I just haven't gotten around to showing you these yet. As I was packing, I noticed this box, and I'm like, I haven't videoed these. So I apologize. But we've got some great stuff in here to go along with my collection of Russian writers and, Russian exiles from the revolution. And then we have 2 massive works of literature, which was mostly a peer pressure. Not peer pressure, but I guess so. I just saw everyone else talking about them on BookTube, and then I just succumbed to it. But so maybe let's just start with these two big honking books here. And I have never read this author, but I did haul a bargain book of his, like I think it was, yes, a bargain book of his collected writings and essays and stuff like that. But these are his works of literature, which everyone has been raving about, and these are beautiful editions. So I got them while they're on sale. So let's start with William Gaddis. So everyone seems to have these, so I'm slow to the punch here. So this is J.R. Introduction by Joy Williams. I don't know who that is, but I wanted to see what this was about. And I have a wonderful collection going of the NYRB classics. Little icon at the bottom there. At the new house, I plan on, right now, my NYRB classics are downstairs, and some of them are kind of separated. I'm going to have a nice shelf where I can just display these, because the spines are all different colors. They're solid colors, and they're aesthetically beautiful. And they just offer a wide array of the types of writing and history and literature that I'm interested in. But so JR, again, this is an impulse buy to kind of, go along with the crowd out there. Everyone's been kind of raving about his work. So I wanted to see what it was about. In case you don't know, I'll read a quick synopsis of this book. At the center of JR is J.R. Van Zandt, a very average 6th grader from Long Island with torn sneakers, a runny nose, and a juvenile fascination with junk mail get-rich-quick offers. Responding to one, he sees a small return. Soon he is running a paper empire out of a phone booth in the school hallway. Everyone from the school staff to the municipal government, to the squabbling heirs of a player piano company, to the titans of Wall Street and the politicians in Washington, will be caught up in the endlessly ballooning bubble of the J.R. family of companies. First published in 1975, J.R. is an appallingly funny and all too prophetic depiction of America's romance with finance. I wonder if David Murphy has read this. It is also a book about suburban development and urban decay, divorce proceedings and disputed wills, the crumbling facade of Western civilization that's always happening, and the impossible demands of love and art, with characters ranging from the earnest young composer Edward Bast to the berserk publicist Davidoff. Told almost entirely through dialogue, Oh, that's going to be interesting. William Gaddis's novel is both a literary tour de force and an unsurpassed reckoning with the way we live now, which is a novel by Anthony Trollope, The Way We Live Now. William Gaddis. So I picked that one up. And of course, then I picked up his other massive doorstopper, The Recognitions. Introduction by Tom McCarthy. Look at these. These are massive. We're approaching March of the Mammoths, and I have a couple in mind. I have one in mind that I want to attempt to read, and buoyed by the encouragement of Lukács at A Cruel Reader's Thesis, he says, the only thing you need to do to participate is just to start reading it. You don't have to finish it in the month, and I won't with some of these books that I'm thinking of doing, especially trying to settle into a new home, and I'll still be unpacking and arranging my library and everything else and working and book reviewing. So there's going to be a lot going on, but I do want to participate. I guess one of these would be a great candidate for that because, well, JR is actually doesn't hit the 800-page limit, if you can believe it, 769. But The Recognitions sure does. This one is, 940, 50 pages, almost 1,000. But yeah, I'll make another video. I'm waiting for this book that I ordered. I ordered it used. It's pretty rare, but I wanted to check it out, and that might be my book. My mammoth book for March. So stay tuned for that video. Let's see. The Recognitions is a sweeping depiction of a world in which everything that anyone recognizes as beautiful or true or good emerges as anything but our world. The book is a masquerade, moving from New England to New York to Madrid, from the art world to the underworld, but it centers on the story of Wyatt Guyon, the son of a New England minister who forsakes religion to devote himself to painting, only to despair of his inspiration. In expiation, he will paint nothing but flawless copies of his revered old masters. Copies, however, that find their way into the hands of a sinister financial wizard by the name of Rectal Brown. Rectal. Now, rectal is not spelled like rectal, like is in rectal exam. The only thing different is there's an extra L and a K after the C. So it's not very well disguised by Gaddis. But yeah, Rectal Brown, who of course sells them as the real thing. Okay, so dismissed uncomprehendingly by reviewers on publication in 1955 and ignored by the literary world for decades after, The Recognitions is now established as one of the great American novels. Immensely ambitious and entirely unique, a book of wild, Boschian inspiration and outrageous comedy that is also profoundly serious and sad. This sounds really interesting, actually, even more so than the other one. I don't know. And this one's not written all in dialogue, so that might be one I might consider for March of the Mammoths, but we'll see. Okay. Why did I buy this one? Let's see if I can jog my memory here. Probably because it's, I know why. Just looking at the back. Okay. So the next NYRB classics I picked up to add to my growing collection. I think once I get into the new house and I get them all set up, I'll do a bookshelf tour and just show you all of the NYRB classics that I have. Hopefully you will enjoy that. This is called Blood Dark by Louis Guillo. Introduction by Alice Kaplan. I'm always intrigued by the artwork on these covers, artwork or photographs that they use. So this is got a nice blue color background here. So, all right, Blood Dark tells the story of a brilliant philosopher trapped in a provincial town and of his spiraling descent into self-destruction. Crepure, as his students call him, the name a mocking contraction of Critique of Pure Reason, despises his colleagues, despairs of his charges, and is at odds with his family. The year is 1917. That's probably why I liked it. And the slaughter of the First World War goes on, with French soldiers not only dying in droves, but also beginning to rise up in protest. Still haunted by the memory of the wife who left him long ago, Crepure turns his fury and scathing wit on everyone around him. before he knows it, a trivial dispute with a complacently patriotic colleague has embroiled him in a duel. And I think that was enough to kind of snag my interest. I know. There's this dark fascination I have, or it's a fascination with the dark, the sense when things go wrong, like spiraling into a descent into self-destruction. Like, why does that happen? Like, what causes that to happen in the human being? That has always intrigued me. Whether it's in books, movies, or whatever, I am fascinated by that moment where the surface, all of our civilities and decorum and etiquette goes out the window, and the real human animal comes out. To me, I've always been fascinated by that. So I think this is what attracted me to Blood Dark. So I picked that up, and let's see. Next book I have, sorry, it's a lot going on over here. Let's see, where's my camera? There we are. Okay. We are still rolling. Oh, this is to add to my, I own almost every book so far that NYRB Classics has put out by Vasily Grossman. And it is still on my list. I thought I was going to read Life and Fate 2 years ago when I first started this channel. It still hasn't happened. I'm very honest about it. And I'm very disappointed that it hasn't happened. It's not going to happen in this March, for March of the Mammoths. It's just not. Not with the new house and all the things we want to do. But I'm hoping by the end of this year or early next, I'm going to have a plan in place to tackle some of those big novels of his, like Stalingrad and Life and Fate. But there's a ton of other books that they've compiled. And this is one I did not have. And it's not the movie, it's not that book by Cormac McCarthy, but it's called The Road. Vasily Grossman, edited by Robert Chandler. So, what this book is, The Road brings together short stories, journalism, essays, and letters by Vasily Grossman, the author of Life and Fate, providing new insight into the life and work of this extraordinary writer. The stories range from Grossman's first success in the town of Berdichev, a piercing reckoning with the cost of war, to such haunting later works as Mama, based on the life of a girl who was adopted at the height of the Great Terror by the head of the NKVD and packed off to an orphanage after her father's downfall. The girl grows up struggling with the discovery that the parents she cherishes in memory are part of a collective nightmare that everyone else wishes to forget. The Road also includes the complete text of Grossman's harrowing report from Treblinka, one of the first anatomies of the workings of a death camp, the Sistine Madonna, a reflection on art and atrocity, as well as 2 heartbreaking letters that Grossman wrote to his mother after her death at the hands of the Nazis and carried with him for the rest of his life. Meticulously edited and presented by Robert Chandler, The Road allows us to see one of the great figures of 20th century literature, discovering his calling both as a writer and as a man. So I had to nab that as part of that sale. So, again, I will do another tour of my full NYRB Classics collection once we are moved in. And I'm all set up. Let's see. The next one I have here, all right, is... Yeah, that's right. Okay, I had to check something. Sorry. It is Reflections of a Non-Political Man by Thomas Mann. Introduction by Mark Lilla. Thomas Mann is also on my list of classics and the books of, authors of classics that I want to get to, like The Magic Mountain. I really want to read Joseph and His Brothers. Yeah, so I want to get to it, but in the meantime, I like reading, let's see, what are these, like essays or... I love essays, letters, things like that. Of course, I'm a history shelf, so I'm like nonfiction. It's my deal. It says here, when the Great War broke out in August 1914, Thomas Mann, like so many people on both sides of the conflict, was exhilarated. Finally, the era of decadence that he had... just some words that I stumble over. That he had anatomized in Death in Venice had come to an end. Finally, there was a cause worth fighting and even dying for, or at least, when it came to Mann himself writing about. Mann immediately picked up his pen to compose a paean to the German cause. Soon after, his elder brother and lifelong rival, the novelist Heinrich Mann, responded with a no less determined denunciation. Thomas took it as an unforgivable stab in the back. The bitter dispute between the brothers would swell into the strange, tortured, brilliant, sometimes perverse literary performance that is Reflections of a Non-Political Man, a book that Mann worked on and added to throughout the war, and that bears an intimate relation to his post-war masterpiece, The Magic Mountain. Wild and ungainly though Mann's reflections can be, they nonetheless constitute, as Mark Lilla demonstrates in a new introduction, a key meditation on the freedom of the artist and the distance between literature and politics. That is fascinating. So, good stuff, heady stuff. Thomas Mann. Great, and a great cover, too. Days gone by, right? We're going to stick with this is not, okay, we're going to conclude, that was German, and now we're going to conclude with the Russians. All right. So this is just simply called Letters, Summer 1926. Boris Pasternak, Marina Svetieva, and Rainier Maria Rilke. Prefaced by Susan Sontag. Again, it's talking about how I love letters and the collections of letters. The summer of 1926 was a time of trouble and uncertainty for each of the poets whose letters appear here. Boris Pasternak was in Moscow trying to come to terms with the new Bolshevik regime. Marina Svetieva, exiled from the Soviet Union to France with her husband and 2 children, was struggling desperately to get by. Rainier Maria Rilke in Switzerland was dying. Chance put them in touch with one another, and before long they found themselves engaged in a complicated correspondence in which questions of art and love were ever more deeply implicated, and where every aspect of life and work was discussed with passionate intensity. Newly published in a significantly expanded edition, including 2 essays about Rilke by Marina Svetieva that are powerful works of art in their own right, Letters, Summer 1926, takes the reader into the hearts and minds of 3 of the 20th century's greatest poets at a moment of maximum emotional and creative pressure. This is going to be great because this will supplement something I've already finished reading and that I'll be writing a review for Shelf Awareness, which is this, and it mentions Svetieva a lot. This is after the Romanovs, Russian exiles in Paris from the Belle Epoque through the Revolution and War. This comes out next month, and I just finished reading that a few days ago, and I'm writing a review of it today, or tonight actually. So this will be a very nice compliment because I was reading a lot about Svetieva in this book, and I love how everything comes together. Full circle. All right, last book. Wow, we're going to be like less than 30 minutes on this video. It's fantastic. I think I've got a couple of other books by this writer. I know I do, actually, in the NYRB Classics editions. And this is one I do not have. And this is The Case of Comrade Tuleyev by Victor Serge. Introduction by Susan Sontag. Again, another one by Sontag on the intro. It says here, one cold Moscow night, Comrade Tuleyev, a high government official, is shot dead on the street, and the search for the killer begins. In this panoramic vision of the Soviet Great Terror, the investigation leads all over the world, netting a whole series of suspects whose only connection is their innocence, at least of the crime of which they stand accused. I think that's an icicle falling from the roof. But the case of Comrade Tuleyev, unquestionably the finest work of fiction ever written about the Stalinist purges, is not just a story of a totalitarian state, marked by the deep humanity and generous spirit of its author, the legendary anarchist in exile Victor Serge, It is also a classic 20th century tale of risk, adventure, and unexpected nobility, to set beside Ernest Hemingway's For Whom the Bell Tolls and Andre Melrose Mann's Fate. Get out of here. Well, we'll see. But anyway, so I picked up this as well. So there's your latest installment of the NYRB. These are very heavy. Wow. Woo! I have enough books to read for 3 lifetimes. So I really can't buy any more books. I can't get any more books. Here I go scratching again. I kind of dinged it. Well, no, that was a dog scratch that it was bleeding. Sorry, not mean to gross everyone out, but I'm scratching it again because I'm just like a little bit of anxiety, I guess. I love to read. I have so much to read. I am all set. But I'll still bring you books because now I have a plan of moving them out. My trunk is full of books that I'm taking to Second and Charles to turn in for either cash or credit. And apparently their limit for each visit is 3 tiny little tote bags. I'm like, you got to work with me, people. I mean, I need a dolly to bring in these books. I can't be schlepping out there every day of the week just to take 3 tiny bags of books. I need to unload things and quickly. So I'll try to get as much credit as I can, and then the other books that I'll be purging from my library will probably go to donations at my new library. So yeah, lots of plans in the work. Oh, another thing too, before you guys go, I want to let you know that we are, and I say we because Martine gave me this idea. She's very, very brilliant. That, I have an issue now where I'm getting a lot of advanced review copies. And once I'm done reading them, I don't know what to do with them because you can't donate those to a bookstore, to Second and Charles, to anywhere really. Maybe some places might take them, but I don't know. So I've been sending some to some of you guys. I've sent off about 3 packages of a variety of books, but mostly ARCs. I'm going to call them ARCs, which stands for Advanced Reader's Copy, or Review Copy, but mostly Reader's Copy. My idea is, for those of you who might be interested in giving a shot at doing a video book review, I'm talking 3, 4, 5 minutes max. Okay? Something you just record on your phone, and you talk about the book, right? But you don't want to go through the trouble of making a channel or whatever. I was thinking, Martine was thinking, if you want to submit, little book reviews to me, I send you the book, you record your review of it, and you've got to read it, obviously. I can make a video where I take that MP4 that you send me, splice it into my video, and it's going to be a book review video. I'm thinking it's a great idea. And if any of you are interested, please do let me know, whether in the comments below, or you can send me an email. You can find it under the business address on the About tab on my YouTube page. Because I don't like to, even if they're advanced reading copies, I don't like to throw them in the bin. And if I can pass them along to someone who would like to read them, great. So as we get settled into the new house, I have a lot of new ideas for the channel. I'm going to be getting more author interviews scheduled. But I'm going to branch out here. And I want to have you guys be more interactive and know that this is not just my channel. It's our channel. And if you want to contribute to a discussion around, because I can't possibly review every book that comes across my desk here. I mean, you guys know that, right? At the amount that I get. So I'm happy to work with you if you want to give it a try. See if you feel comfortable doing that on camera. But let's talk about it. Anyway, I wanted to put that out there, put that little bee in your bonnet, mixing metaphors, I don't care. Just start thinking about it, and let me know what you think. All right, guys, so on to the next video. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you enjoy these books. Let me know what you think about them, and if you have any other further recommendations for me, that would be very welcome. So until next time, guys, thanks for coming to the History Shelf. Thanks for your likes and subscribes. We'll keep it going as much as possible up until the day we move, and then after, once I get set up. All right, guys, take care. Bye.